Some fish are legendary, some are sacred, and some will test everything you've got. Across North America, indigenous tribes have fished these waters for centuries, carving traditions, ceremonies, and survival from every catch. Now, we travel deep into their ancestral homelands to uncover stories behind the fish that shape their cultures, and catch some absolute giants along the way. From the raging rivers of the Pacific Northwest to the untouched lakes of the Great Plains, we're hooking into monsters that fed generations and diving headfirst into the traditions that keep them alive today. I'm Robert Jacobo, and this is IndigeFish, Tribal Tales. Are you ready to chase something big?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to IndigeFish. I'm so happy that you're able to join us here today. And what we got is a nice special present. Let's go back to, the reason why we're here with our new reel, right? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share an unboxing with you guys because our Dawa reel, what ended up happening was it actually ended up going out on us, the anti-reverse, right? And the thing is, to break that down, to really kind of get into fixing the part, it might be a little bit beyond my personal expertise. Now I can go get it done and get it repaired and stuff like that, but I'm just not at the space right now where I want to go ahead and do that. Rather, I would just kind of like to get a new toy. So what we're gonna do today is jump into the unboxing of this spinning reel. So let's go ahead and jump into that, just kind of looking at this. Now, what we're doing is we're actually jumping into the Garrett spinning reel that I bought right off of Amazon, right? And it was roughly about the $70 range. I believe it was about 74 bucks. And so the delivery of this, one, it came in 2 days, right? Got to give it up to Amazon for that. I love that. But at the same time, look at the amount of craftsmanship that just kind of went into this, right? So we're already getting a nice box that our reel was coming in. And the great thing about this is I was just really amped up when I was looking at it because what we had is an aluminum reel, right? The entire body made out of aluminum. So being a saltwater fisherman now, that's something that we're really going to be concentrating on. It's something that's going to kind of be anti-corrosive, make sure that it's going to be lasting with the things that we do. And by the way, joining us today is actually going to be Bobo here. He's having himself a little nap while we go ahead and do this unboxing for you guys. So let's take a moment to check this out. And wow, this thing is airtight, right? So it's going to take us a second to get into this box, but look at that. Already, well, we're getting a nice bag to go ahead and go along with, packing that up, whether we're traveling or anything like that. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our gear. So let's go ahead and put that right in the box. We'll go ahead and pack that up later. The next thing that we have, way to go, Garrett, for sharing this with us. Beautifully wrapped in some bubble wrap. We'll go ahead and play with that stuff later. I'm already excited, right? We're already jumping into actually just the metal and the fabrication of this reel, and the handle already moving extremely smooth, and so I'm pretty stoked about it. So if anything, let's jump into the next piece, right? Because this definitely has me pretty excited. So let's jump into what else we got in here. Now, the big reveal here. Wow, this thing is beautiful. Like, this thing is top of the line. Look at how smooth that is. One flick, right? And you're going, and look at this action. Wow, it's solid. Like, when I look at that, right? And every fisherman knows what this feels like, right? That new reel smell, right? For the most part. So sleek aluminum body, definitely feels just solid. There's not really any cheap plastic here that we're having to deal with. There is a plastic part here that goes along, that goes to help it kind of keep in line going up and down, right? And look, I mean, I know this thing is huge in comparison to my other reels, but not to get too far into the mumbo jumbo of like too complicated, right? This thing has a carbon fiber drag system up to 25 pounds, or not 25 pounds, actually it's up to 55 pounds. And now, although I'm not looking to pull in sharks on a daily basis, it's definitely gonna help, right? The other thing is I got a huge spool here that's gonna be able to, you know, help me out with the line and just making sure that I have so much line for it to be able to put on there. And then also too, just in case if I did wanna go after some sharks or something, then we're looking at the ability to actually put on some thicker line here. Now, I know it's not a Daiwa, I know it's not a Penn or a Shimano, and there's no hate on these reels, but we have to admit, right, it's pretty amazing that for $70, we're able to get something with such craftsmanship and something that I feel like we're gonna be able to really depend on. And we really won't know that until we get there, right? But this thing is pretty amazing. Now, my last reel, the anti-reverse kind of went out, and it was an internal mechanism that I really couldn't deal with after the fact, right? But here, unlike the Dowel reel, where it was all internal, I do have a switch here where I can go anti-reverse or I can do a free spinning reel. And so let's go ahead and get that handle put on here so that way I can kind of showcase that for you guys. And this is gonna go on very smoothly, right? And it's just fitting right into there. Let's hope that we're going, you know, in the correct direction to get it screwed on. All right. So there we are, right? Let's go ahead and hold this down. We're gonna go ahead and tighten that up a little bit. Oh, and there we go. Such easy ability to go ahead and do that. Now we do have the forward, look at that, so smooth. Nicked the box really quick, so that's why it stopped, but look at that. So smooth, under its own weight, it's able to do its thing. Now, the moment we've been looking for. We're going forward, we're going forward, we're going forward. Anti-reverse kicked in. And it's not like one of those anti-reverses where, you know, like I have to feel like I have to go back like a couple of like centimeters or anything like that to really lock it into place. I literally go and it stops where it's at. So this thing is amazing right off the bat. I cannot wait to get this spooled up because not only is it a complete aluminum body design, but I'll show you a little closer here. We have carbon fiber that's actually in here internally, and then within the drag system itself has carbon fiber disc and washers. So that way we're really working towards that anti-corrosion. So that way that salt is not gonna mess with us, right? So obviously we wanna still rinse out our reels, and we wanna make sure that we get some magic reel or real magic on there as much as possible. But every fisherman knows this feeling, right? We all know that this is just absolute heaven when you're able to spin a reel and it's just so smooth. Like this thing is pretty heavy when it comes to, you know, the reel or the handle itself. And look at this, right? Just under its own weight, it stops, right? And it's not going back like crazy or anything like that. And I just cannot wait to get this thing out on the water. Now, we're probably gonna start off with that 65-pound braid. Now, I do have a spool of 80-pound braid. It is pretty thick, but with this reel, I feel like we can get a lot of that 80-pound braid on there. And like I said, this thing is made to take down some big fish. Now, we don't typically get massive fish that are gonna be right there in the surf, but at the same time, we did pick up a 4-foot shark yesterday, right? So that shark, it did put a lot of pressure on my reel, my Akuma reel. And, you know, even though the Akuma did its job, this thing, I feel that the Garrett is gonna be able to do the job just as good, if not way better, just because of the fact that it is meant to handle those bigger fish and that pressure that those fish go ahead and put on the drag system. And so let's get this thing spooled up and let's get it out there. I cannot wait to go ahead and use this today as we go fishing. We're more than likely going to hit some more surf fishing throughout the day as the day kind of clears up and it gets sunnier outside. So I'm really looking forward to this. What we'll start out with is the 65-pound braid, and we'll see how that operates on the Garrett Reel, so that way we can really give ourselves a good review on what this is going to be like and what this is going to feel like when we're using it on a daily basis. And let's see this really quick. So I got it locked in, right? Simple enough. Not too much pressure to have to do that. And it's not like when I open this up, right, it locks down. It's not like one of those ones where it's, you know, kind of flimsy and, you know, it's just there and then you go to cast. I'm sure tons of fishermen know, you know, when you go to cast and all of a sudden mid-cast, the pressure from you casting out, you know, causes that to close, and then all of a sudden your line doesn't go anywhere, right? It lands in the water right in front of you. Your bait flings off way farther than the cast ever went, right? I've had that happen to me multiple times, and I love this design by Garrett to where it just locks down right there. I know it's not going to come out with just the pressure of my throw, right? Because I do have a pretty strong throw, but it just latches down and you know you're locked in. On top of that, when I go, it just kind of closes down, right? And and that's just me sitting here, right? If I'm fishing and I want to lock it down, boom, done, right? And keep in mind, when I have the leverage of my pole, that's going to be even easier to do. So I cannot wait to use this carbon fiber drag system. I can't wait to see what it feels like to have something on the line, right? Now this thing has 55 pounds of drag potential, right? So I probably won't even use that with anything that I'm gonna catch in the surf unless I'm really surf fishing for like a big shark or something like that, right? But the thing is, this thing is beautiful and it's beautifully made. Like this complete aluminum chassis here, this complete aluminum body, it's great. It feels great. It's not too heavy for how big of a reel that it is, but it's heavy enough to feel significant in my hands, right? And even the handle is not super duper heavy, but it's heavy enough to where I feel like this is like a luxury brand without the insane cost of what I would have with a Penn or a Shimano or a bigger version of a Dowel reel, right? So let's get out there, guys. Let's get out there. Let's try this out and go from there. So anyways, this has been my review of the Garrett, and I'm super stoked to use it. So until next time, guys, I'm super stoked to be here, and I can't wait to share this reel with you guys and keep going forward. So take care.